And the Pats were never shy about, we're going to upgrade this roster as best as we can.
Yep.
Now it's a Patriots. Now it's a Cleveland Browns. Now it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3 teams that are intensifying their talks to get Brandon Aiyuk in a trade. But as things stand from your side, what sounds like the most likely destination for Aiyuk and also the best trade partner for the 49ers?
I mean, I think if this was going to go any way that the Niners could have it, Brandon Aiyuk is a member of their team a few weeks from now, and an extension is signed, and there's a nice press conference, and you can start thinking about a Lombardi trophy. I think that is option number 1 if you are the San Francisco 49ers. But from where it stands, it doesn't sound like they can come together on a deal. It sounds like Aiyuk wants a little bit more out of the Niners' pot, which is shrinking very quickly when you think of all the extensions they've got with Brock Purdy coming out in the salary cap. So then you go to the trade. And you said it, the Patriots were in the mix right around the draft. And then the Niners ultimately decided, we're going to draft a guy, we're going to hold on to BA and try to make this thing work. And over the last 24 hours, Kyle Shanahan just confirmed to us that Aiyuk has been granted permission. He can seek a trade. And the 3 names that we keep hearing, the New England Patriots, which is why I'm here with you guys today, the Cleveland Browns, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers. If I am Brandon Aiyuk, I just want the Niners to pay me money. When you look at those 3 teams and you think of the path to a Lombardi trophy, he is doing this out of leverage. He wants to be in San Francisco. He knows this offense. It's one that has helped him produce 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and it's your best chance at winning. But clearly the money is not there. Something in the contract is not right. After that, if I'm Brandon Aiyuk, I probably go Cleveland or Pittsburgh, give me the best chance. And when I look at quarterback situation, I'm probably leaning towards Deshaun Watson. And if you are the San Francisco 49ers and you have to, yeah, I know, which is kind of like a catch-22. But if you are the Niners and you're going, who is our best trade partner? What are we getting back? It has to be the Cleveland Browns. You want to get Amari Cooper back with some picks in a trade. When I look at the Patriots roster, Kendrick Bourne, I would rather have Juju Smith-Schuster.
No.
Slow down, Matt.
No. Matt, sorry to cut you off. I don't mean to do this to a guest. You have a great answer. No, you do not want Juju. Carry on. We'll explain later.
Slow down.
So there it is. And so when the Niners look at their board, they go Kendrick Bourne, Juju Smith-Schuster. I think they'd probably do exactly what you two just did.
Yes.
That being said, the Patriots just don't have a trade option for the Niners that is really attractive, unless they are going to load up on picks. And you guys know this Patriots roster better than I do. I'm not willing to trade my first round pick if I'm the Patriots, because it could be a bad year. It could be a very high pick.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Listening to you talk makes it feel like there is a potential reconciliation here where everyone just decides, you know what, it didn't work out. We didn't like the trade compensation here. Even though we're not getting this contract worked out and we're not on the same page, let's just play the season out. Do you see that happening? Because hearing you talk makes me feel like that's possible. Like they're giving him permission to look around, but maybe if things don't work out, they just play out the season. Because I was under the impression Brandon Aiyuk wants out and really could be a malcontent if he doesn't get his way. Is that really what's happening behind the scenes, or do you see a scenario where he could stay with the Niners for this season and maybe hit the free agent? Maybe they allow him to hit the free agent market after this season.
I think given that he's been at training camp, he wasn't there today, but he's been at a lot of these practices during training camp sitting with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. And if you are a player who is going, I want out, I don't want to play here, are you standing on the 50-yard line with your GM and your head coach who you're supposedly going to battle with right now? I don't think so. I think, Aiyuk wants to be paid. He deserves to be paid. And if you look at the history of the 49ers over the last few seasons, the same thing happened with Deebo Samuel. Same thing happened with Nick Bosa. It's currently happening with Trent Williams as well. And the Niners seem to find a way to, for the most part, negotiate these guys and keep them long-term. I would say it's about 50-50 right now. Had you asked me last week, I would have said 70-30 he was coming back. I think the fact that this has all become public, the teams have emerged, there's a framework that's been agreed to. I think that lowers the odds that he comes back. But at the same time, this has to be a perfect situation for the Niners, because while BA can say, I'm not playing, he is still under contract. He is still here. Yep. And the Niners a year from now could go, we're actually going to just slap the franchise tag on you and not allow you to go to free agency. So the Niners could play this a couple different ways.
I know Trav's been one that's been on that. He said, and I agree with this, Aiyuk should go to the front office.
Yeah.
Let's figure out something right now, and let's do it where you can't franchise me. Quick question, Matt. What is the latest offer you've heard that the Niners had made to Brandon Aiyuk? And I'm talking AAV, or if it's total number in years that you know.
The number that we heard, and this is a few months ago, was $26 million. That's not been confirmed by the 49ers. And Kyle Shanahan said today that nothing has changed in terms of the deal with Brandon Aiyuk. You would assume that number has not gone up, and that's why he's coming and asking for more or looking for a team that's going to pay him more.
Yeah, $5 million more a year. That puts him top 3 paid AAV-wise in the NFL. I think it's insane that over, let's say, $20-25 million over the lifetime of a contract, he's going to walk away from a Lombardi trophy and want to go to Cleveland with Deshaun Watson, New England, in a rebuild, Pittsburgh with, you don't know what they have at quarterback. I say all that to ask this, Matt. What's the read on Brandon Aiyuk through all this? Because it doesn't sound like he cares about winning or football. That's how it's received here in New England.
Yeah.
And Patriots fans are happy about that because if you don't care about winning and you only care about money, they have the most cap space. They can pay you the most. But what's the read on Brandon Aiyuk through all this? Because that's nationally how it looks like. But it's hard to imagine a guy that's been that close to a Lombardi would be this close to saying, I don't care, get me my money.
Right.
Yeah, I think these situations, a player never looks good because for people that don't make millions of dollars, like the three of us, we go, what's the difference between, and sorry, I don't know your salary. So
yes, speak for yourself, Matt.
My bad.
I'm rolling in it.
Yeah, what to us, what's the difference between $26 million and $28 million? We can't put a read on that. I'll say this about Brandon Aiyuk and how much he cares about the game. 2 days after the Super Bowl loss, we're in Santa Clara. It's clean out day. His family had posted some stuff on social media like, he's out of there. Why did you only throw to him a couple of times during the Super Bowl? And I asked him that at his locker, and he answers those things, and you could tell he was upset. And then he was asked, can you reflect on this season? And he actually he broke down into tears, and that's where it stopped. At that point, PR kind of steps in. They're like, okay, the interview's over. But to me, that was Brandon Aiyuk showing that he cared deeply about his team, about the Super Bowl, and about the loss, and that he cares about football and winning. And so I think if you look at any player during their negotiations, no one comes out in a good light. And I don't think you can judge Brandon Aiyuk just off these last 3 months.
I mean, Debo, Kittle, CMC, all these weapons. Talk to me about what you think Brandon Aiyuk will be as the number one option on the New England Patriots, where, I mean, that wide receiving room sure could use him. But obviously, I mean, it's a entirely different world than what he's used to out there in the Bay. What do you sort of project with him as a number one guy, being the man? Because even Cleveland, even if they trade Amari Cooper, there's still other options there. Same with Pittsburgh. But if he comes to New England, it is a unique situation where, yes, he can get the most money, but he will be the man. How do you sort of project his success at all, or do you, as being the top dog in New England?
I would certainly say there's going to be a learning curve. You are going from a Kyle Shanahan run offense. He's one of the best minds in the game on that side of the ball. And he has so many weapons. So, all the attention is going to go immediately to Brandon Aiyuk in New England with a rookie quarterback who's going to go through some growing pains. In San Francisco, he doesn't deal with that. You just listed off all those names that are on the offense and on the field at the same time. He gets a lot of, man on man. He doesn't have to beat too many guys. It's not going to be like that in New England. And I think Brandon Aiyuk's really talented, but I think there will be a massive and steep learning curve. But I will say this, look at what he's done with Brock Purdy. Purdy relies on him. He looks for him on third down. He's become the biggest deep threat in this offense. And so I think Drake May would certainly be adopting a top wide receiver that the Patriots have not had in a very long time. You can say Julian Edelman, but before Edelman, how far back are you going to say Brandon Aiyuk could be the best Patriots wide receiver since? Is it Randy Moss?
Yeah, you got to go deep ball threat. Because Edelman's slot, you'd have to go deep ball threat and Randy Moss.
Be Moss.
And so, I mean, there's no doubt he makes that Patriots offense 10 times better than it is, but I don't think he immediately comes in day one and is putting up the season that he did last year.